So I got the old pipe from the Packard here. I've laid it out in a way that it can't really move. You know, I'm not perfect. I've added spacers to the parts that are elevated from the table. And I started by cutting off the top portion of the old pipe. It's in great shape, no reason not to use it. It's got the flange. So my first cut was made here. I connected the old piece to a new section of bend. The way I'm making this pipe is I went to a local muffler store and I got a selection of bends made up. This way I can use whatever bends I need in whatever areas on the pipe are suitable. So I did this here with the first pipe, marking the end of each pipe, also marking the top of each pipe to orient them as I continue on. Next portion I made was this portion. The bends here are too small to try and use a section like this. So what I did is created a number of, if you can see, beveled pieces of pipe. The way I do that is I create a template. If you look close at something like this, it's kind of a sine curve. There's a high and a low, and the length is determined by the diameter of the pipe. So you can make this up for any diameter of pipe and any different bevel you want. And it's repeatable. You wrap it around and you can mark for another section if you want to make more. So with those bevels, I started creating these bends. It's pretty slow process. You mark them and you tack them and you weld them. You want to leave everything tacked, but what happens is it starts to break on you as it gets longer. So it's best to weld as you go, I find. So you've caught me in the middle of a tack. The process here is to position it, mark an orientation, take it, tack it, test it again, and go on and on like that. You'd like to always get a real tight fit, but to be honest, the minute adjustments you make, and you end up with a little gap, and it is what it is. You end up looking beautiful in the end anyways. So what I'm going to do now is weld it up complete, and we'll be on to the next section. some progress on the exhaust. Gone through some trials and tribulations with how to do the joints. Packard did it with a slip joint and a clamp, and that's the way I'm going to reproduce it, just the way Packard had made it originally. So the first attempt was with an expander, and with the stainless, the expander didn't stand a chance, it broke instantly. So what I ended up doing was making my own expanded section of tubing. The way I did this was I took the 2-inch, I split a section of it, I forced another section of 2-inch inside, and then I created a filler piece out of another section of tubing to fill the gap. So now this is 15 inches of pipe that will slip over the 2-inch, and I've just cut this up into the size segments that Packard had, and I've gone from there. So last you saw beginning pipe. I guess you could call this an intermediate section. Goes there. This is the first slip fit. Goes here. And this has all been done, as you can see, sectioning pieces of pipe in, measuring, grinding, adjusting, and welding. So it's pretty repetitive, it goes on, and I've finally gotten to the step where I've put this up into the vehicle. I've tested everything, I've marked for position. This pipe and this pipe are going to be tacked, and I'll test again. Once I'm satisfied, I will weld this complete, and I can call this first pipe done. This pipe here is done. There is nothing much to it. One bend, one expansion. It's got a female end here, male end at this side, and this section here that continues on will be the section that welds to the muffler. Mufflers I'll have to hand make, so we'll get to that.